Hey, Kobe, you frosty?
Icy hot, partner.
You know when Jeff Bridges said that in the movie, it sounded like he was filming an Icy Hot commercial. What's going on, guys? My name is Barry.
And this is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. What's going on, guys? We are on the second film of our... second or third? Third. We are on the third film of our flop month.
Yes. Great movies that flopped in the box office for some reason or another.
For the most part, what we have been seeing is that they just come out in unfortunate weekends where bigger movies are coming out.
Yeah, or poorly marketed.
Right. I think this one got a decent amount of marketing, but it went up against The Conjuring.
Okay.
Yeah. And Despicable Me 2. So, a really bad time to come out with a very obscure comic book movie.
Yeah, I remember seeing lots of commercials for this, but then I didn't see this till this week. This is the first time I've ever seen this.
This is the first time you've seen it? Oh, man. No, I Ryan Reynolds has been really funny ever since I saw him in Van Wilder.
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to see how he would progress in his career later on. And it's nice that he's found he found his pocket.
Oh, definitely.
Where he is like, this is where I work and this is where, it's going to be. And then he's evolved his humor from like the Van Wilder, like very Porky's type of humor into...
Right, but it was very fitting for that. For the fraternity kind of movie.
For the fraternity kind of movie. But then, like sometimes you see those type of movies and you're like, how far? He's pretty. And he fits this fraternity Porky's type of humor.
Yeah.
But how much further is he going to go?
Right. Or is it always going to be the same kind of movie?
Yeah. But I'm glad he's found his like little sarcastic asshole type character. If you guys don't know what we were talking about, because we've only given you... we actually gave you both the actors in the movie, Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds.
Yep.
We are talking about R.I.P.D., a.k.a. Rest in Peace Department.
Ripped.
Which he definitely is. And I'm surprised he did not take off his shirt in this movie.
That's true.
Right? So if you guys don't know, R.I.P.D. is a Dark Horse comic.
Right.
Released at some point in time because I didn't do my research. But if you ever see the comic book cover of this film, it's weirdly fitting, like perfect casting.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I don't know if I could picture Jeff Bridges, someone else other than Jeff Bridges, as the role of Roy.
Right. Yeah, he definitely fits the part.
And Jeff Bridges is definitely, I don't know if he's making fun of Ryan Reynolds' like past characters or anything, but he never gives Ryan Reynolds the chance to talk. Just like how Ryan Reynolds does it in Deadpool. So it's nice to see Ryan Reynolds on the other end of the stick, playing sort of like the straight man.
Right.
To Jeff Bridges, like, funny person.
And I didn't till just the second think, oh, hey, they've both been in Marvel movies, because Jeff Bridges was the bad guy from the first Iron Man movie.
Oh, yeah, he was the Ironmonger.
Yep.
But, it's funny, like, because before this is Ryan Reynolds' second attempt at a comic book movie.
Was this after?
This was, I think this was after Green Lantern.
Right.
But I think it was before Deadpool.
Right.
Because it came out in 2013.
Unless you count the Wolverine origin movie.
No one counts that.
Where he was the pre-Deadpool. Deadpool.
I don't count that because he wasn't like the main...
He didn't have the costume. Doesn't count.
Yeah, he doesn't have the costume. It was just a Wolverine movie, and he was just a side character. He wasn't helming the main portion of that film.
But then he was also in a Blade movie.
Oh yeah, but he was also in that one. He was also a sidekick.
Right.
All right, so
So he could have also been Deadpool in that movie.
I mean, he had two swords. He was pretty much just a vampire killer Deadpool.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie came out in July 19th, 2013, going up against The Conjuring. So,
Yeah.
and I think at that point in time, a lot of people were interested in The Conjuring because it seemed like I think The Conjuring is the start of the deviation from like this generic slasher type of horror films.
Yeah.
That was coming out. It was going back to almost like the Exorcist type of like feel.
Right, because they did a bunch, the Annabelle and Conjuring.
Yeah,
and,
like the whole Conjuring universe.
yeah.
And so I feel like R.I.P.D. didn't get a fair shot.
Right.
Because it feels like The Conjuring should have came out in October. I don't know why October isn't a bigger, more month for horror films.
Horror movies, it seems like it should be. Because to me, it's like spring is comedies, summer is like your action blockbuster, fall is your horror movies, and then, you get to December and you have your Christmas movies like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. They both those came out like in December, so in my head that they're like holiday movies.
Well, so does Star Wars. It always comes out like during holidays.
Yeah.
At least the Disney ones have always came out during the holidays. So well, let's get to the review before we get into anything else, or like just the plot of the film. And so we start off with Ryan Reynolds playing Nick Walker. His partner is Kevin Bacon. His wife is a beautiful, adorable French woman.
Right. I don't know who she is, but
Yeah.
it's just cute.
Yeah. And in the first scene, you also see her, and she wears no bra under the shirt, which is... And she speaks... Like, this movie made me remember how adorable French girls are when they speak English. Because I'm pretty sure if I speak French, I just sound like an American asshole speaking French. But when the French girl speaks English, it's like, oh, it's so adorable.
Right. Yeah.
And so Kevin Bacon, and so really the movie starts off with Ryan Reynolds doing a little monologue.
Right. Because he never does monologues.
I mean, Ryan Reynolds is basically going to take over Morgan Freeman's job when Morgan Freeman decides to stop doing monologues.
Right. Yeah.
But it's a little explanation. We get a little preview of what happens towards like the middle of the movie, where he's explaining like the big blob that's coming is not him. Jeff Bridges in his cowboy outfit is not him. And then it's Ryan Reynolds shooting at this blob-like creature.
And then getting run over by a car.
Yeah. But he says 3 to 4 days ago, that wasn't him.
Yep.
And then we go back to him being just a regular cop. But the first thing that we do see is him burying gold pieces in the backyard.
Yeah.
Which is never a good sign, right? Like, you're not a pirate, Ryan Reynolds. Why are you burying gold? But he puts an orange tree on top of it. And the next morning, we see him wake up with his beautiful French wife.
Right. And he makes comments about the orange tree is...
a gift for you.
A gift, and it's supposed to mean prosperity in the future.
And she's like, well, it's not going to last through the winter because we live in Boston, not California. But, and then they have a little morning delight.
Right. She makes him late to work.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's worth it. Right.
Probably.
It never really explains if she works in this film.
Right. She just kind of goes for her morning jog, and he heads off to work.
Yeah. Which, I mean,
I guess it doesn't really matter.
I mean, but it's still Boston. Boston's expensive, right? Can you afford, like, a nice little townhouse like that on a cop salary?
Well, he's not wearing a police uniform, so he's already up to, like, detective status, so he's probably making a little bit more.
Oh, okay. Well, so
we'll go with that.
So when he gets to the station, we see this is the first time we see Kevin Bacon. He's roasting everybody in the station. he tells like this one overweight cop, he's like, hey, you should give that towel a break and get a robe.
And then the guy whoops the towel off.
And then him and Ryan Reynolds is like, oh,
it's bar face.
I don't think I can get that image out of my mind. But Ryan Reynolds is talking to Kevin Bacon. He's like, hey man, I don't think I can go through with being like a dirty cop.
Right.
You know, because earlier his wife is like, I don't need money. I want the happiness I have with you.
Right.
You don't have to give me a bigger house.
And he's getting that nerves where he's like, sure, I'd like to have the money I can get for selling this gold, but is it worth that possibility of
getting found out,
losing my job, going to jail,
losing my wife.
Yeah, she thinks I'm this great, super honest cop. Can I live with this secret? Yeah,
and so he tells Kevin Bacon, he's like, hey, I'm out. Don't worry, you can keep your gold. I won't say anything. But then Kevin Bacon plays it off like he's like, yeah, you're right, man.
He's like, I didn't need a speedboat anyway. You're my best bud. We'll just grow old and retire poor together.
Which is like it's a nice sentiment because your partner is basically like your work spouse,
right?
In that type of situation, because obviously they're probably going through long stakeouts together,
right? Yeah, and certainly. I mean, like you've seen the more realistic police movies, and you certainly see the bond that some of those
like partners
get going through these tragedies that most people don't experience,
and these high stress situations,
right?
Wanting to hopefully be able to count on your partner to have your back at all times,
right?
And then and plus, like with movies like End of Watch, where you wanna.
That was actually the one I was thinking.
Yeah. Where like if your partner, something happens to your partner, you want to also take care of their family too, because they, you guys do barbecues together, you guys do like your birthday for kids together, so they have this bond. So Ryan Reynolds never really expects him to later backstab him.
Right.
So they get a call that they're able to have this huge drug bust on the major meth dealer in Boston, and as they're going through the warehouse, they're clearing it out. It seems like Kevin Bacon has his back, but when Ryan Reynolds goes to the top of the warehouse to catch the guy,
right, chasing the main bad guy,
all of a sudden Kevin Bacon whips down the door like he has something surprising to say. And Ryan Reynolds is like, come on, man. And
then I almost just shot you.
But all of a sudden, Kevin Bacon's like, I can't let you return that gold. And then...
Yep. And that's a fun scene because he gets shot and then he's falling and you could still see his face like as he's falling, and then he just rotates enough and they get this great angle where he hits and just neck just snaps.
Well, like I think the neck snaps on one of the ledges, but then he pretty much pile drives into the ground after that.
Is the ridiculousness scorpion where he like hits and then his like foot just kicks him in the back of the head.
But at this point he wakes up and it's a really cool like slow motion type of scene or freeze scene where everything around him is frozen.
Right.
And then he gets pulled into the sky by like this huge tractor beam. Very alien-ish like, but before he can go into the eye in the sky, he gets pulled into a department or like into a white room.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, I'll give you some time to assess the situation." Yeah. Basically, she's like, "Yeah, you're dead."
Right.
But this is where she recruits him into the rest in peace department because he has skills that they need.
And it's one of those things like she kind of gives him the thing. It's like, hey, you lived a good life, but then you did this horrible corrupt thing as a cop.
Yeah.
And judgment's probably not going to look favorably upon that. So would you like to be a cop and kind of like redeem yourself? Yeah, or do you want to go in front of the judge and see if he sends you to internal damnation?
She sounds like she's selling timeshares. That's what it sounds like.
Right.
she's pretty much blackmailing him into working for her.
Right.
But I guess that's how you got to do it, right?
Yep.
You got to work it off. But unfortunately, Jeff Bridges has been working it off since 1800s. And so as he agrees to do this, she's like, "Oh, you can pick where you want to go. You want to go to Boston?" He's like, "Yes," because he thinks he'll be able to see his wife again.
Right. Yeah, he thinks he's going back to his old life.
Yeah, but nope, that's not the case. So they go through the station. She sort of shows him a little bit of the rundown until she's like, "Your partner is a pain in the ass." And then it's Jeff Bridges in this awesome, like, Western accent.
1800s lawman.
Well, that's what we used to call them, lawmen. But he calls it. Jeff Bridges is like, "I'm a one-man operation. Don't need a partner."
Yep.
And you think he's exhibiting like sort of like this very like Top Gun type of person in the station.
Yeah.
But later you find out there's better cops.
And he even admits it.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, he's actually a really good cop." So at this point in the movie, we go through the whole ropes of like him trying to show Ryan Reynolds how to do the job.
Yeah.
But then Ryan Reynolds is like, "Hey, man, can we stop with the rookie stuff? Because I've been a cop for 15 years. He's like, "All right, well, you go in there and handle the situation then. I'm going to just eat my Indian food." And so they're interrogating.
You do that accent better than, like, every episode you try to do an accent and you do them all so poorly. That's a good Jeff Bridges. Like, who can't do Arnold?
I don't know. It's really hard to do the Arnold accent. I can't do the chopper thing. That's like usually the baseline of like an Arnold accent. That's where you start off. You're like, "Get in second." But Jeff Bridges, I don't know. Maybe it's because like I remember watching The Big Lebowski as a kid. Mm-hmm. And he just has like a really funny cadence.
Oh, right.
It's a little bit easier to do than Christopher Walken, because he takes like really weird pauses in several places, and he has like a little swag about his like accent.
It's
you either can.
It's not like a country, like a accent from a country. It is
Christopher Walken.
Walken specific accent.
But so Ryan Reynolds is trying to interrogate this guy, but he has like little flashcards.
Right. That was like, it's like one of the funniest parts of the movie, because these flashcards that are like pre-written questions make no sense.
But then Jeff Bridges like tries to tie them all into like Indian food.
Yeah.
So he's like chicken marsala. But he keeps eating this Indian food, and I assume it's curry, like a chicken curry, or maybe it's a chicken tikka marsala or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. But he keeps interrogating him, and food keeps flying out. And then all of a sudden he starts to transform into what I think they explain later on is the image of how they died. Yes. Because he was like, "Oh, his mouth's all ripped like that is because he probably used to be a snitch."
Yep.
But after all that, I think Ryan Reynolds says, like, "Why did he transform?" He's like, "I don't know. It might be the cumin."
That's right. There's something about Indian food.
And for a second, I was like, did he just say cumin? Because he was like, "Hey, it might be the cumin." Or something. He said it in the weirdest way. But Ryan Reynolds is trying to cuff this guy, but he gets overtaken. He flies out. He jumps out the window.
Oh, so while he gets overtaken, this monster thing handcuffs himself to Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. And then rips his arm off.
His own arm off, yes.
His own arm off. And he grabs like a milk carton which had gold pieces, right, which are very resemble the gold pieces that Ryan Reynolds had buried earlier in the movie. But as he jumps out the window, Jeff Bridges, like, I forgot what he says.
Pony up?
Pony up. And he basically rides Ryan Reynolds. It's super degrading.
Out of the window.
And he has
bounce off the side of the other building.
And gets the guy, but as he's riding him, I think he has his hats off, like he's riding a Bronco. And they end up icing the guy, the snitch. After he throws up.
Because they have special bullets that will only hurt the dead people, but they won't hurt normal humans.
Yeah. And so after that, as Ryan Reynolds is he's upset that he just got ridden.
Right.
Jeff Bridges is behind him, grading him. He's all like, "Well, your performance back in the room was not so good, but your performance coming out the window, nice and soft.
Your internal organs gave a nice soft landing.
Nice soft landing, huh? So I'm gonna give you a C+." But then, as the bus is coming over, Ryan Reynolds is all like, "Hey, relax your body." Oh, that's what he said.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, as he's coming out the window, he's like, "Relax the body." But then Ryan Reynolds throws him in front of the bus. One thing I forgot to mention, though, is that when they get into the Earth, back to Earth, they all have different bodies.
Oh, right.
The most important thing. Jeff Bridges is a beautiful blonde woman.
Right.
And Ryan Reynolds is the voice of Poe's dad from Kung Fu Panda.
Right. James Hong. So he's Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, James Hong is probably one of the most prolific Chinese actors in America.
Right.
Because he's lasted in this business for the longest time.
Yeah. Because he was in in the 70s, he was in Chuck Norris movies. Before Chuck Norris had a beard. Yeah.
But then as he got older, his movies got more funnier and funnier.
Right. Right. Yeah, he was he was the Viet Cong that was torturing Rambo in the Rambo movie.
Oh yeah. And then now he's Poe's dad from Kung Fu Panda.
And then Kung Fu Panda, yeah.
But as we really progress through the movie, because I want to give us time to be able to talk about our favorite parts and not do it all in this review. We find out that Kevin Bacon is actually a deadite or deado. I guess that's what their nickname was. Because later on they go to one of Jeff Bridges' informant, who is a huge Red Sox fan. But as Ryan Reynolds is trying to get information out of him, he's like, "I don't know what that gold is, man. I'm sorry." But we find out that Kevin Bacon as one of his informants.
Yes.
So he takes the gold piece. They follow Kevin Bacon to Ryan Reynolds' old house.
And then there's the argument over oh, he's going back to your house because he's sleeping with your wife.
He's like, the humiliation. First he kills you, and then he sleeps with your wife.
Dead 3 days.
You've been dead only 3 days. The humiliation. He keeps reminding Ryan Reynolds how humiliating this whole situation is. Such an asshole. But later you find out, the only thing they really do see is that Kevin Bacon shows his wife that he was a dirty cop.
Right.
Which, for her, is probably too much of a heartbreak because of everything that's been going on.
Yeah.
But as we progress through the movie, we find out, Kevin Bacon is a deado.
Right.
He allows himself to be caught. Oh, but before that, Jeff Bridges says, Kevin Bacon might be wearing something to cover up the smell.
Right, because there's soul stink is something they call
soul stank. They put an A in there for that stank.
Stank.
And then Ryan Reynolds remembers that he always used to wear this St. Paul charm that his grandmother made him. But when they go to arrest him, he pulls off the charm, and then the stink is so wretched that it rots away at the house.
Yeah.
Because earlier we see that with people that have soul stink, it would kill plants.
Right, or it would burn out light bulbs, and it would, yeah.
But Kevin Bacon stank so bad that it cracked the house in half.
Right, so apparently his stank was being held in by this charm for
years.
They said, I think they said they were partners for like 5 years or something like that. So it's been a minute.
1 week since you looked at me. But he allows himself to get caught because some of the gold is back at the RIPD.
Right, and it's already like in evidence.
It's already in evidence. So Kevin Bacon sets up a trap with one of his other friends, and they have this orb. And so as Jeff Bridges goes to put everything into evidence, one of the evidence people throws the orb into the basket, and then it slows down time for everyone in the RIPD.
Right.
Which is a really cool sequence. As he's explaining it, he's like, it only slows you guys down, doesn't slow us down.
Right, yeah.
And so this is like, we find out that Kevin Bacon's whole plan is to complete the Staff of Jericho and to reverse the polarity of the body and souls going.
Right, because it's almost like there's a fan that sucks the souls up.
Yeah.
And then it like reverses that fan, and then it blows all the souls back to Earth.
Yeah.
But then they can live on Earth because there will no longer, like, it's almost like opening the gateway.
Yeah. And we do learn that, like, all of these things that happen on Earth, humans can see. That's why the RPD have bodies, and these deadites or deados, like, can manifest themselves in, like, their own body.
Yeah.
It's never explained, but then we get into situations where deados are running around in their real body, and then everyone's freaked out. And then we do get into situations where James Hong is holding a banana.
Right, yeah.
And it's really Ryan Reynolds holding a revolver.
Yes.
Just him holding a banana is hilarious. But yeah, and so Kevin Bacon does end up completing the staff, reversing the polarity, and the final ingredient that they need was the blood of an enemy. Which, I mean, Kevin Bacon had stated, as Ryan Reynolds and Jeff Bridges are trying to stop him, that it didn't have to be her, but it's nice to complete the circle.
Right. Yeah, since he had killed one, he should kill the other one.
Yeah. So we have this big, huge fight. Kevin Bacon does end up stabbing the beautiful French wife.
Right.
And the blood does drip into the Staff of Jericho. And then, so the polarity is being like reversed. All these bodies are about to come down. And then, as Ryan Reynolds is getting beat by Kevin Bacon, he tells Jeff Bridges to do some cowboy shit, which he does. He makes a lasso out of some steel wire and brings down a bulldozer of some sort to destroy the Staff of Jericho.
And that's where our opening quote was from.
Oh,
like
yes.
You frosty?
You frosty?
I see hot, partner.
And, it's a fucking commercial.
And he's old, so I could see him rubbing it like on his back.
But what's it called? Ryan Reynolds' wife starts to die because she sees the same thing that Ryan Reynolds sees when he dies.
Oh, yeah, where everything super slows down.
Yeah, super slows down. And then Ryan Reynolds gets a final kiss with her.
Yep.
Because you think, like, as the audience, you think she's going to go up into the sky and, you know, go for a judgment. But she ends up waking up in a hospital. The doctor that's in there is actually the chief of the RIPD.
Yeah.
And then we get this really weird interaction between the chief and Jeff Bridges where she bites his goatee. And he's all like, well, she just coyoted me. That's something that we used to do. But Jeff Bridges like, oh, hey, I got you a new body. So,
and he's like, oh, thank goodness, not an old Asian man.
And then it's a young ginger Girl Scout with the terrible headgear.
Yeah,
like it's 1980s brace face looking. But then we get to the end of the movie right there. Kobe, is there what are your favorite parts of this movie?
There was a lot of good parts in this. The funniest parts, and they're like just kind of sprinkled in, is the interaction between like Jeff Bridges as the model and like people around, like he's having this argument, Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds having an argument, and like just some sleazy guy walks over and he's like, hey, I'm a photographer, I do music videos, my phone number's on the back, and he's like, look at me, I'm an attractive woman, I will snatch your balls off, and like
he's like I think the exact thing is all like, well, excuse me, I am a woman. I am not a piece of meat that you can put. So if you don't want to get castrated, I'll step away.
And then grabs the card and flicks it into his face. And then there's like every single time, like a guy sees the girl version, there's that like music in the background.
The saxophone music.
Yeah. And they're all like, oh.
In any situation, like when the fat blob drags drags her
through the window of like top story of a building.
They're like, oh my. Oh yeah, that's funny. One of my favorite parts about Jeff Bridges in this movie was he constantly brought up the fact that coyotes ate his body.
Oh right, yes.
And then when he had an argument with Ryan Reynolds, he's all like, and one of those coyotes kept making love to my skull. Do you know what they call that? And then Ryan Reynolds goes to say, I hope they got both eyes. And then he looks so sad and he leaves. But then in the next scene, they're still together. He's playing an accordion.
Singing the song about him being eaten by coyotes.
Well, back in the West, you could just sing about anything with an accordion or a harmonica.
But yeah, you're right. It keeps going back to that because, like, they make a comment and Ryan Reynolds is like, yes, I know what it's like to be shot. And he's like, no, you don't know what it's like because you got shot with a modern sterile bullet. I got shot in the 1800s with this dirty, nasty bullet.
Oh. I mean, it's true, right? It probably Ryan Reynolds got clean through. Well, I'm pretty sure it's because
he makes a comment like that. He's like, yeah, I was thinking, I'm glad it's sterile as it was going through my face.
I know, but I think the situation was Jeff Bridges probably had gotten shot, but he probably died from infection rather than shot. Oh, and one of the cool parts too, Jeff Bridges really stole the show. Like, he really leaned into this cowboy.
Right. Thing. Yeah, because Ryan Reynolds actually is muted compared to what he usually is. You're now more used to him being like that very quippy Deadpool kind of character, and how he is in like the new Netflix movie with him and.
Under Six Underground or something? Okay, yeah.
And he's like very quippy. And here, like, Jeff Bridges, it overpowers that.
Well, you can't, it's hard to beat the original.
Right?
I also think it's because I don't think I've ever seen Jeff Bridges in a Western.
He has to have been.
Right?
After watching this, I just was like, oh yeah, that's his usual part. But maybe not, right? Because he's the dude. He's the
ironmonger.
He's a Hawaiian surf penguin.
Yeah, so maybe correct.
He's the guy from Tron. Yeah.
So I mean, correct us if we're wrong, but I just don't remember him in anything like 310 to Yuma. Or anything of the sort.
Yeah. I'm not sure now.
Yeah, see? So it's really hard to see. So maybe that's why he leaned into this cowboy persona so hard.
I always wanted to play this part.
Yeah. I always wanted to be a cowboy. Oh, yeah, there's a really good part. We got to talk about Kevin Bacon. We were talking about him before the show. But... So, when was it Hollow Man where he just started to just become a creepy bad guy or a slimy type of bad guy?
Right, because all of his early stuff, he's always the good guy. He's always pretty. He's like footloose, like dreamy Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
And then, he disappears for a while, in the movie making industry and comes back. And then, yeah, like I said, like you were saying, Hollow Man maybe kind of was like his comeback movie. I remember them making a big deal about that.
Yeah.
And then then he just kind of like, he's just bad guys.
Maybe it's because maybe he feels like there's more he could do as a bad person, like as a villain.
Maybe.
You know, like I think what made villains so like Academy or like award-winning type of good was especially after Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker, where it showed so many like sides of what a bad guy could be versus a good guy.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, it would be nice to see him in another like good guy role.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to think. He's the bad guy in X-Men, right? He was Sebastian Shaw.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, just every movie or anything I've seen him in lately, he's either like a dirty cop or a corrupt politician,
right?
A corrupt business. Oh man! I also like Ryan Reynolds in this film because he's pretty toned down from what he usually is, but I think he works really well with Jeff Bridges as like his straight man.
I do, yeah. I always kind of like watch other people's reviews and stuff when after I watch one of these before we get doing the podcast, and everybody, that was the biggest complaint. The two biggest complaints was that this was exactly like Men in Black, and that there was no chemistry between Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds.
Really?
Yeah, and I feel like maybe if I saw this when it came out, my head would have compared it to Men in Black, but it's been so long that it to me it's totally separate. Like, you know, it's a old partner, young partner, and they're in this like mystery agency, whatever. Yeah, but every time a movie does well, other movies do something similar. So like I don't hold that against it. Yeah. But like you said, like I thought they worked very well together.
Yeah. Because if you look at it, like it sort of felt like maybe like a mentor and a mentee. Mm-hmm. So Jeff Bridges, I mean, like obviously that's what Tommy Lee Jones was to Will Smith. But for them, they're so similar. It almost felt like they were like father and son.
Right. Cops. Yes, because they were both quippy. Where like Men in Black was much more like Tommy Lee was the straight man, and Will Smith was comedy. Yeah, and like there was a great chemistry between them too. But it was like there was just more. It was like I'm going to say the jokes and bounce them off you. And here it was like taking turns. Yeah, making the smart ass remarks.
Yeah, and I mean, like, of course, a little like Jeff Bridges did overshadow Ryan Reynolds in the quippy department, but it was nice because if you want to take into account how long Jeff Bridges' character Roy had done, how long he's been in the RIPD versus Ryan Reynolds, it makes sense that he's more jaded about this job.
And at the end, he like they tack on like an additional 50 years to his sentence. So like it definitely seems like he's not a rule follower, and he probably is going to be doing that forever because it's always going to just be like, oh, you're getting close. Oh, you messed up. Another 20 years.
Oh, one of my another favorite part of mine was when the Deado had that huge machine gun. Yeah, and Jeff Bridges is all like, he's like, oh, a standoff. I made this shit. And then he goes, he's one of those 10 paces type of duels and headshots 2 of the Deados. And he's all like, always check the steeple. Oh, there's always somebody in the hotel. And then he shoots and there's nothing there. He's all like, oh, but they were probably on the roof. But him and Ryan Reynolds shoot the person on the roof.
Yeah, and every time he's driving, his like one leg is like up on the seat.
Like, okay, so like a lot of Asians do that. I don't know why. Even right now, I have like my leg on the seat underneath another leg, but it's just a really comfortable way to drive. I used to have a Ford Taurus, like a sedan, but in the front seat there's no like console or like a little panel thing to like put stuff in. So it was pretty much you could sit 3 people in the front, 3 people in the back.
Yeah.
And so when I used to drive, sometimes I would put one leg to the other side and I would use the gas pedal with my left leg, which is a little weird. It took a while to get used to. But it was also probably a really dangerous way to drive. So, oh my God.
And then the other funny thing was that they kept making reference to was Jeff Bridges kept noticing girls' ankles. Because he was like, in the 1800s, girls dressed conservatively. It's the only thing you could see. Oh, she's got nice ankles. And then later on, he's like, I saw that you have your side piece in your boot. And Ryan Reynolds like, stop looking at my ankles.
Which is so weird because, like, especially like in today's time, like the girl that the first time he mentions the ankles, the girl's wearing like Daisy Dukes,
right? Yeah.
And the only thing he notices is the ankles. And then towards the end, after the girl coyotes him, she's like, "Oh, she's wearing those stupid white boots, so I can't see her ankles."
She's a tease.
Which I remember like learning about in school. Like I think I was reading some sort of like colonial books, like Little Miss Prairie. I forgot what that show was called.
Oh, Little House on the Prairie.
Little House on the. I think it was like a book before or something like that. That's where I learned what cow chips were. But then I remember our teacher saying that. I think it was Huckleberry Finn that I was reading. But I remember our teacher was saying like, yeah, back in those days, you couldn't show your ankles or else you'd be a harlot.
Yep.
I was like, and then I leaned over to my friend. I was like, "What's a harlot?" He's like, "That's a hoe, man."
Yeah, we actually growing up, we had a Indian family that lived next door to us, and they were very Americanized and wore jeans and like things that they weren't supposed to, like the girls. Yeah. And but then they had family come in from out of town, and they came over to our house because I think it was like a Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. No, maybe it wasn't Thanksgiving. Maybe it was like Easter. Yeah. Because I remember we went outside and we were like, we're going to go in the pool. And they were like, well, we can't go in the pool because these people are from India and they can't see us not covered up. Where like tons of times they had come over and gone swimming with us. Yeah. Because they had kids that were like the same age as me. So yeah. So we hung out with them lots. And it was just, that was the first time I ever like realized that other countries had like a different culture like that.
Yeah. Man, so are you telling me that in India there's no pools?
Well, there is, but like
it's only for family.
Yeah, or like the men can go, but if you're having outside the family, the women didn't go. Oh man! And I remember one of the girls like going and like she wore jeans onto the plane, but then before she got off the plane, she had to change because she wasn't allowed to wear jeans once they got to India. Oh, wow. That's crazy. So she had to change either on the plane or in the airport before. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, Jeff Bridges is definitely from a different time. Same country.
Right.
Different time. I don't know if I could live in a world where ankles were like the thing, the cleavage. Like, oh, I wonder what those ankles look like. You'd probably be disappointed if there was like a hair on it. Like, oh,
gosh, my goodness.
See, what I'm really waiting for is for underboob to be a thing.
I have no problem with underboob.
Oh man, Kobe, was there anything that you didn't like about the film?
I didn't really have any complaints about it. Lots of times if you have a movie that does poorly, you're like, well, this part was good, but this part was bad. The special effects effects, I don't know. And it's one of those things where like this was 2013.
Yeah.
So like the CG on like the monsters and stuff was not fantastic.
Yeah.
Like you could tell they were computer, but watching this now, like, I don't know, when I watch a movie now, any movie that's more than like 2 years old, I'm like, oh, that's an old movie. Of course the CG is not going to be good.
Yeah.
So like I didn't even really notice it. But that was another thing that people complained on, like on reviews, was how bad the CG was. They're like, Avatar had already come out and like Avatar's flawless, and then you come out with this. I'm like, oh, what was the budget difference? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, like, it wasn't too bad. I mean, if you watch Avatar now, it's sort of like dated.
You can already start to see the...
Yeah, you can start to see like, oh, it's like watching a cutscene from a video game.
Okay.
Yeah, but for this one, I think it would have really benefited them if they tried to do the practical effects as much as possible.
Right. We are a fan of practical effects.
Yeah.
If you don't know that, go back and listen to the rest of our podcasts because we mention it often.
Yeah. Yeah, just because I guess for some of the places, I really think it's just when the deados would like grow into like a bigger statures, that it would have been more difficult. But if they had just did the makeup to where it just looked like how they looked like when they died.
Right. They wouldn't have to be so oversized.
Yeah, so oversized, so over the top.
I guess they were supposed to kind of represent their sin. So like if their sin was like gluttony, then they got really big and fat.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. They didn't really say. So that was just something my brain kind of added to the movie.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely it, because you know we see the whole mouth ripped apart because the guy was a snitch.
Yeah.
You know, the guys that are like really big and fat are probably like that's a part of their sin, is the gluttony and all that stuff. But I feel like if they had showed it into like a more mild form versus like this very exaggerated form,
yeah,
that the practical effects would have been really cool, and then you could have put more money into like all the damaged stuff that was happening.
Right.
I mean, that was another cool scene too, like when all those little like portals were opening up all over Boston.
Yeah.
And then they were driving, and then the parking garage scene, which I totally think Fast and Furious stole from this movie, mind you, when all the cars are flying down and Ryan Reynolds is like leaning into them so that it would like a car would smash into it. That was a really cool like sequence for the chase scene.
Definitely. I'm like, I don't know what to add.
But yeah, for me, like, the special effects right now is pretty dated, which is probably my only complaint.
Right, but really, it wasn't bad. And
yeah.
like the acting was good. I really liked like Kevin Bacon, even though that part was like very predictable. Like when you first see Kevin Bacon's his partner, you're like, oh, he's gonna stab him in the back,
yeah,
and then end up being the bad guy, you know. So like the story's not that complex that you can't kind of see things coming. But besides that, I'm like,
it's a fun watch.
It's definitely.
It's not even that long. It's like maybe an hour and 40 minutes tops. It's fun enough to where you can differentiate it from Men in Black. Because, I mean, if you go back to Men in Black, you could always just be like, oh, that's just Lethal Weapon with, you know, science fiction in it.
Yep. I know, exactly. Right.
You could always...
And Lethal Weapon is, you know, I can't think of anything, but sorry.
Oh, well, Lethal Weapon is just 48 hours.
Oh, exactly.
You know? So, I mean, like, I don't think it's a valid complaint where you could be like, oh, this is just Men in Black. I mean... It's a buddy cop movie with, like, this is more supernatural than science fiction.
Right.
You know? So, that's not really a complaint that I think is valid for this movie. I think it was just an issue with coming out at the wrong time. Like, I think if this had come out maybe even October, because it deals with supernatural stuff. It was like the first week of October.
Oh, right.
It would have done better. I think they really banked on this being a blockbuster
As the
movie.
summer blockbuster. And maybe that was what their thought was. There wasn't another big action movie to go against it.
Yeah.
And so that it was gonna do better. And it was just I think it's
the
just bad timing.
The clapping game from The Conjuring took over the nation. So we're gonna go to our review section. If you guys haven't been here before, we do our reviews in 4 ways. We do stream it, DVD it, Blu-ray it, and Ultimate Box Collection, which for this one would be Ultimate Box Collection of buddy cop movies.
Oh, that's intriguing.
But yeah, that's how we do our reviews. Colby,
I feel this is definitely like a watch. Like everybody should see this. It would be a fun party movie, like something you could throw in the background when stuff's going on. You don't have to pay 100% attention to it. Entertaining enough that anywhere in the movie you could jump in and you're just like, you're not really lost.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you jumped in on one of the parts where James Hung stands up with a banana in his hand and you're like, what the hell is going on? But yeah, I don't know if you gain anything. I don't know what kind of background or any extras you'd get with this.
I think it would probably be things from the comic books.
Maybe
that transferred into this.
I do like comics. That may push me to Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I think just for the movie I'm gonna go DVD.
Okay.
But yeah, I would be intrigued to see if they had some comparison to the comics and stuff like that in there, because that might be real interesting, being a comic guy.
Yeah, for me, I actually really like this movie, just because it's nice to see Ryan Reynolds not being so over the top all the time. Because when you put Ryan Reynolds in a movie, there's a fear of him being too Ryan Reynolds,
right?
Yeah, so it's nice to see him in a movie where he is just pretty normal,
right? Where he's more playing the side, but not the side comedy.
Yeah, and it's nice to see Jeff Bridges doing comedy-ish type of things again,
right? Because this is like the dude, but
cowboy version,
but quirkier. Yeah.
And so for me, I would probably get this Blu-ray. This also came out during the time Pacific Rim came out. This came out a week later.
Oh, okay.
Pacific Rim. So for me, it was an awesome time for the movies because Pacific Rim, giant robots. Okay.
I totally saw Pacific Rim.
What, supernatural cops taking down Kevin Bacon? Okay. The Dude and Van Wilder. Yeah, so I remember watching this in the theater and I was like, oh, this is pretty funny. I liked it. I got my friends to watch it. They liked it as well. But yeah, I was really sad that it flopped.
Right, and it flopped hard.
Yeah, which is disappointing, but I think at this point in time with Rotten Tomatoes and all these,
it's got a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, but what was the audience score though? It's weird, because everyone's so technical, but it's always nice to have movies that you can sort of just unwind and shut it down. The brain shut that.
Right. Just enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't a brain dead movie, but it's just one of those movies where you don't have to think too hard.
Yeah.
The formula is all the same if you've ever seen buddy cop movies, just with different actors, but it was still a pretty fun time. I like the concept of a supernatural police force taking down bad spirits and all that stuff.
Right, yeah.
And I think the relationship between Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds' characters is perfect. It's hilarious because
right, and it was a little fun because they had died, and then it was the police force for heaven coming back to Earth and it wasn't just the we're gonna be the police force for the church.
Yeah.
So that people don't know that spirits are escaping from hell.
Yeah. One of the funny things I do remember in this movie is when Jeff Bridges first tells Ryan Reynolds his real name. It's
Rosefus,
and he tells him it was a very sexy name back in the day. All right, just call me Roy.
He's like, okay, Rosefus. Rosefus.
It's Rosefus. Oh man, but we're coming to the end of the episode, guys. Thank you for joining us on our episode. If you guys want to contact us, we do have our email and our Twitter down below. If you guys want us to do a certain theme, or even just watch a movie.
If you want to fly us out to have us do a podcast with you from anywhere in the world.
But you also have to include room and board.
Right,
and
yeah.
also not murder us.
Might be okay for ratings.
Just let us know. We're always open to any sort of suggestions and all that stuff.
But at least just like us, share us, give us a thumbs up.
Review us.
A kind comment.
Right.
Or a snarky one.
Either way, we just want to know you guys are listening. And we'll even give you shout-outs at the end of the episode as a thanks for being an audience member.
Right. And, again, anybody knows the Tostino Pizza Roll people? We're looking for sponsors.
Movie pizza pockets. But that is going to be our episode for today. I'm Barry.
And this is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check out who does our theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage from the Music for Podcast 3 album. And you can check out her Bandcamp down below.
Thank you.